Hello guys and welcome back to my budget deck channel. Today with another budget deck, and last video was some kind of spellcaster Shaddoll version, which I feel like is very neat. If you're into spellcaster decks, definitely check that out. It's on my channel, there's some replays and so on. But today I want to have a look at the new support that Predaplant's got. I'm not too much into the new support. I think there's a lot of new cards that you could run and that would work more in a pure variant. But from last week, I learned that Shaddolls are mixed quite well in some kind of, fusion decks these days. And I feel like there's a lot of stuff that you can do with this. Plus, this version is about to go. Like, it's for going second, but you can do some stuff going first. I mean, your main play will probably be like ending on Shaddoll Winda or Baguska with maybe a set Super Poly or something like that. But in general, this deck is better going second, but can be functioned with a side deck for going first as well. What you have to look into is Super Poly here is at 3. I don't think after the next ban list this will be the case. I think it's going to go back to 1 or 0 because there's a lot of cards that are good against combo decks and they don't want a card in the game that you can't respond to. And yeah, that's why I think they're going to put it back. If not, happy days. If they do, replace it with Dark Ruler no more. I feel like it's not as good in the deck. I hope they leave it at 1 so Predaplants can still use it because they can search it with 2 cards. So that could be nice. That could be a thing that you might want to do. But without further ado, let's start right with the card choices. Predaplant banks your Ogre. Basically, it's searchable. Even more so since the new support card. Plus, ran some of the cards in the deck that actually put Predap counters on to the opponent's monster. One of them would be this card or the double Squid Drosera because yeah, it can be quite helpful to get rid of some monsters that can't be something and you can get rid of it with this card. Plus you can get rid of it with this card, which you can send to the graveyard with Shaddolls Fusion, so there's some kind of synergy there already. Plus this card you can easily special summon off. You could technically put level 9 Synchro in the deck because if you special summon it with Orphoscopio, then you know, level 9 Synchro, Vermilion Mech or something like that, but you don't have to. The extra deck space is kind of tight. I'll go over that soon as well. Shaddoll Beast, getting a free draw, works out with the Dark Fusions, they're all dark monsters, so that is pretty neat. This card, I said it, it's quite good sending it to the graveyard. It has quite some neat effects, getting rid of opponent's monster, it's not too bad. Shaddolls Dragon, I think is popping back row these days, is not too bad. Plus, kind of would help you if going into rank 4s because this deck has, like the other one, a small rank 4 engine in it because it just adds another win condition going second and gives you some tools at least in the deck as well. Predaplant, Spinodionia, really can't pronounce those guys. Every time I make a video about them, I realize that. But nonetheless, if this card is normal or special summon, you can target a face-up monster you control, your opponent controls. That's important. Place some Predator counter on it, and blah blah blah. But you can put Predator counter on it. Plus, if you happen to get a Hat Checker in hand, plus can be able to summon this off by Orphoscopio maybe, or even by the Predator practice, then there's a lot of things that you can go into, mainly rank 4s, but that's what I was talking about. So having at least one level 4 Predaplant monster in a deck that has somewhat of a rank 4 engine, it's not too bad. I basically run the Perform Mages because they give you access to El Shaddoll Construct. Plus, I feel like having this kind of rank 4 thing with Utopia double is kind of neat in the deck. So I feel like it's kind of helpful playing these, especially if you play Shaddolls Fusion. This can be quite nice. You have discards with stuff like Super Poly, Twin Twister, for example, or even the Orphoscopio. So I feel like even if you have them in hand, there is a fair way of getting them into the graveyard, which can be quite neat as well. So that is this. Orphoscopio, you all know it, mainly used to summon this card. In this deck, you can use it to, if you want to get that card out of that card, to put some Predator counters onto the of your opponent's monsters, so you can actually use the effects of other cards with it. You can summon them out, but other than that, you know, it's mainly going to be able to search any kind of fusion card that you want. And what card do you want to search a lot of the time as well? Shaddolls Fusion. So we've got that kind of synergy going for us as well. Hedgehog, basically you can get a card to your hand, never too bad. Don't have to, but I feel like it's one of the better Shaddoll ones that you have till the structure deck comes out and makes them completely busted and like goodbye Construct or even Winda at this point then. What else? This card already is said it mainly is in the deck to spread counters. You can take one out if you want to and put something else in. But I feel like you want to have some kind of Predaplant monsters in the deck. They're all not super strong. Most of them are kind of underwhelming, but you know, so you can summon them out with Predator Practice. One Shaddolls Falco, basically since you fusion summon, you actually have a normal polymerization in the deck as well. So having monsters on the field, even though they're face down, doesn't really matter because fusion works anyway. So I feel like this card was a neat addition to the deck. One of this little fusion, fusion Predaplant, it can fusion summon technically with your opponent's monsters. Not going to happen too often, but I mean, why not? Could come up. Don't think it is gonna, but it also helps you fusion summon other cards in your deck, which can be quite nice because you can use monsters from your hand, field, or with predator counters. So even annoying stuff in your hand, you know, it's kind of neat. You can fusion summon Dark Fusion monster from next deck, not Predaplant Dark Fusion. So El Shaddoll Winda is works with this card as well. One Predaplant, I don't know, guy, defense guy, whatever that guy is. Basically to block some stuff and maybe get some searches off. Don't have to run it, but I felt like this card was alright. You know, it's like a little backup plan, can get you to some combos, I don't know. Instant Fusion 2, since you go in second, clearing the board. 1000 Eyes Restrict comes to mind, plus rank 4 with the, I decided to go for Darkfire Dragon, but you can go for any other level 4 monster you want to, in a sense. Polymerization, basically, well, fusion in a fusion deck. Crazy, I know, but that's what it is. Predator Practice is a double-edged sword. If you can manage to get a Link monster out before you use this card, super neat. If not, you're stuck with that one extra monster zone, which can be quite nice. But since you're lacking strong fusion monsters that actually like OTK, it's, I mean, Star Venom can, but can be a double-edged sword at that point. But Shaddolls Fusion makes up for it. It's a +1 card basically with a construct being back. If you get that out, you plus actually a lot, and it's amazing. I really love this card, so definitely run 3 of those. One Foolish Burial, basically for cards like this or the Shaddoll cards, having like a draw, like an Upstart Goblin with this basically, or a Mystical Space Typhoon, kind of, it's not that great, but you know, or putting like a monster like Falco on board is never too bad, so I kind of like it. I want El Shaddoll Fusion, can be quite neat, doing stuff like Winda during your opponent's turn after you've maybe used the negate with Drags Depelia, and then he has to kind of watch how many times he can special summon. Can be quite neat, so I wanted to include one. You don't have to, but I felt like it was helpful. Double Twin Twisters, because, well, back row removal is quite nice, plus the discards come in handy in your deck. Could bump it up to 3 if you want to, but I don't necessarily see the reason. Probably more of a side deck matter at that point. Super Poly, well, play it while you can. I guess you have a lot of dark monsters. Your opponent might have dark monsters, possibly could even run a Layer of Darkness in this deck just to actually utilize this card, but I don't think you should. Double or Nothing, if you run Utopia Double as basically a win condition, this card itself can win you, let's say, about 30 to 40% of the duels. If you don't like that, if you don't like winning by this kind of win condition, okay, that's fair. Everybody how they want to, but I would highly recommend playing that card because you access to it, even though its Predaplants is quite easy if you play in the whole Perform Mage engine. And Predator Pruning, you get a lot of cards to agree with if it's with Shaddolls Fusion, one of your discards, or just in general. I feel like this card is never too bad. You can get some of your fusions back as well. So in a sense, I feel like this card does really well in the deck. One of the, I basically instant fusion your whole board monsters. One El Shaddoll Construct because it's just super strong. Starving Venom Fusion Dragon as well, mainly technically for Super Poly, but you could be able to use it with other kind of things as well. Dark Stepelia for the negate. It's super easy to get out, but it's fairly easy in this deck, and I think it is quite neat, so I would definitely play this card. Predaplant Chimeraphasia, I think I like this card really much, plus it helps you OTK a little bit at least, and it searches you, gives you like a follow-up play for the next turn. So I feel like this card definitely deserves to be in this deck. Double Winda, because you can technically get out of Instant Fusion, plus if your duel goes on and on, you at least want to run 3 Shaddoll monsters. You kind of could play the Earth one, but I felt like it's not really necessary. You had Hat Trigger. still, I'd rather go for a double window. I actually rather go for double construct, but you know, it's not going to happen. Darkfire Dragon, already said enough about those two. Utopia Double for the OTK, Baguska for some stall action, Exeter Knight for the board wipe. What would be a good go second deck without a board wipe? Borrelsword Dragon. If you want to keep it more budget, then don't run Borrelsword. You already have some expensive stuff in your Shaddolls aren't super cheap, and the super polys aren't super cheap. But other than that, I think the deck isn't too expensive, so you couldn't splash in some Borrelsword. Could play Borrelode or any kind of Link 4, possibly Topologic Bomber Dragon, anything like that. I feel like it's fine. And one generic dark Link monster, so you could use it for a fusion. I like when it's dark. You could play the Wee Witch Apprentice as well to go for a more OTK heavy kind of thing. But if you have your Earth monster or your Light monsters, that can be annoying. So I want to go more for a generic one. Plus the effect kind of still works then, but is the effect good? Probably not. Another option you could play in the decks, Ultra Poly, basically gets you easier access to your Link monster and has some kind of upsides in the deck, but I felt like it's not necessary if you want to obviously splash it in, especially if Super Poly goes down maybe, but then you kind of have to look if you're playing hand traps and stuff more, because then you'll not easily break your opponent's board. But with this setup, I feel like you can quite consistently break your opponent's board even if you don't manage to get Super Poly off, because you have a lot of other shenanigans, one card combos and stuff that your opponent has to take care of. And if he doesn't get to build up a board with like 6 negates, then you can say it's possible to break the board. If you feel like it's not good enough and you want to splash in like triple effect Veiler or something like this, then feel free to. I feel like it kind of hurts the consistency of the deck a little bit. Obviously you can put one damage juggler down because you probably don't need to, but I just felt like play them, why not? You have so many discard effects, but in the end that is up to you. Hope you enjoyed this deck profile. Leave a like, subscribe, share the channel, join. You know, there's going to be a lot of deck profiles at one point, and I hope you have a good day.